Welcome to Vision Vested, where we explore the depths of the human mind and the hidden powers within our quietest moments. In a world that constantly demands our attention and reaction, finding true stillness has become the ultimate form of modern rebellion. We often mistake calmness for passivity, assuming that those who are quiet are simply disengaged or perhaps lacking in deep emotion. However, true calmness is not the absence of feeling, but rather the mastery of emotion amidst the heat of the moment. It is a deliberate choice to remain steady when every instinct screams at you to panic, to fight, or to flee. This video will reveal why calmness is not a personality trait you are born with, but a skill you must forge. Just as steel is hardened by fire, the most composed individuals are often those who have walked through the hottest flames. We will explore the hidden history of the calm mind and discover the secret gap between a stimulus and your response. By the end of this journey, you will understand how to cultivate a sanctuary of peace within your own chaotic life. Let us begin by deconstructing the myth that calm people are simply indifferent to the world or the suffering around them. Scientific studies show that calm individuals often experience emotions just as intensely, if not more so, than their reactive counterparts do. The difference lies not in the intensity of the feeling, but in the architecture of their reaction to that specific feeling. They have learned that immediate reaction is often the enemy of wisdom, and that patience is the guardian of true understanding. This internal discipline creates a buffer zone, allowing them to process the raw data of emotion before it becomes an action. To understand where this strength comes from, we must look at the origins of those who seem unshakable in a crisis. Calmness is rarely a gift of an easy life. It is almost always the hard-won prize of a difficult past. Those who have navigated chaos early in life learn quickly that panic is a luxury they simply cannot afford to indulge. They have seen that when the world is falling apart, the person who loses their head helps no one, especially themselves. Experience has taught them that adding internal turbulence to external chaos only serves to double the size of the disaster faced. Thus, their composure is not naivety. It is a strategic adaptation developed to survive environments where emotions could be dangerous liabilities. They have walked through the maze of anxiety and found that the only way out is to stop running and start thinking. This resilience is what we identify as emotional intelligence, a profound understanding of how to manage the energy of one's own mind. They understand that you cannot stop the waves of life from coming, but you can certainly learn how to surf them. Let us now examine the core mechanism of this superpower, the sacred gap between the stimulus and the chosen response. Viktor Frankl famously said that between stimulus and response there is a space, and in that space lies our freedom. For the reactive person, this space does not exist. They are puppets pulled by the strings of their immediate external environment. If someone insults them, they get angry. If something goes wrong, they panic. They are slaves to every passing circumstance. The calm person, however, widens this gap. They feel the insult, they see the problem, but they do not immediately act. They insert a pause, a moment of cognitive processing, where they decide which reaction will serve their long-term goals best. This is not hesitation born of fear, but a strategic pause born of wisdom and a desire for the best outcome. Imagine the power of not having your entire day ruined simply because a stranger was rude to you in traffic. Imagine the clarity of mind to solve a crisis while everyone else is busy assigning blame or screaming at the walls. History's greatest leaders were often defined not by their aggression, but by their unnatural ability to remain cool under extreme fire. They understand that anger is a powerful fuel, but it is an incredibly poor driver for the vehicle of your life. Cultivating this gap requires practice. It requires the humility to admit that your first instinct is usually wrong or unhelpful. It involves a constant review of your own behavior, asking yourself why you reacted the way you did in the past. Growth happens in silence. It happens in the moments when you choose to swallow your pride rather than spew toxic words. This brings us to a crucial aspect of calmness, the willingness to accept that which you cannot control or change. Anxious people are often those who are trying to play God, attempting to force the universe to bend to their will. They believe that if they worry enough, they can prevent bad things from happening. But worry is just a misuse of imagination. The calm person accepts the fundamental truth of Stoicism. We control our own minds, but we do not control outside events. You cannot control the traffic, the weather, the economy, or the opinions of others. You can only control your response to them. This acceptance is not defeat. It is the ultimate liberation from the exhausting burden of trying to manage the entire universe. When you stop fighting reality, you free up an enormous amount of energy that can be used to actually improve your life. Calmness is also a form of physical discipline. It is the ability to regulate your nervous system when it is under attack. Breathing is the remote control of the brain. By slowing your breath, you signal to your body that you are safe. Like a deep-sea diver, the calm person knows that panic consumes oxygen, and in high-pressure situations, oxygen is your most precious resource. They have trained themselves to be comfortable with silence, to not rush to fill every quiet moment with nervous chatter. In our noisy culture, we often equate silence with awkwardness, but for the calm mind, silence is a space for restoration. Bamboo bends with the wind but does not break. This flexibility is the essence of the calm approach to life's challenges. The rigid person snaps under pressure because they refuse to yield, while the calm person adapts and survives to thrive again. Think of calmness as a form of high-level performance art. It requires practice, dedication, and a willingness to fail and try again. When faced with a complex problem, the calm mind does not pull harder on the knot, it gently loosens the threads. Precision requires a steady hand, and a steady hand requires a steady mind. Panic is the enemy of all precision work. Heroes are not people who feel no fear. They are people who prioritize the task at hand over their own terror. This state of being allows you to appreciate the beauty of the world, which is often invisible to those rushing through it. When you are not constantly scanning for threats or planning your next argument, you can finally open your eyes to the present. Calmness grants you the gift of time. By not rushing, you actually accomplish more because you make fewer mistakes to correct. The old military adage says, "Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast." This applies to everything from combat to corporate strategy. It is about moving with the flow of reality, rather than trying to swim upstream against the current of the inevitable. Water is the softest substance, yet it can cut through rock over time. Calmness is this persistence of soft power. We also have a biological imperative to be calm. Our nervous systems co-regulate with those around us, influencing their state. When you stay calm, you become an anchor for others. You lower the collective temperature of the room simply by existing. This is true leadership. It is not about being the loudest voice, but about being the most stable presence in the storm. The most powerful person in the room is often the one who has no need to prove their power to anyone. Insecurity is loud, confidence is quiet. Calmness is the ultimate display of self-assurance and internal security. To cultivate this, we must also curate our environment. We cannot expect a calm mind if we feed it constant garbage. Your external environment often reflects your internal state. A cluttered, chaotic space can lead to a cluttered, chaotic mind. Disconnecting is necessary. You need periods of time where you are not consuming information, but simply processing what you already have. Sleep, silence, and solitude are the three pillars of mental recovery. Without them, your emotional fuse becomes dangerously short. A tired mind is a reactive mind. It perceives threats where there are none and reacts with aggression instead of reason. Physical health plays a role too. You cannot have a calm psychology if your biology is inflamed and agitated by neglect. Gratitude is another tool. It shifts your focus from what is missing or annoying to what is present and good. It is impossible to be truly angry and truly grateful at the same time. They are incompatible emotional states. Choose which wolf you feed. Every time you practice patience, you make it easier to be patient the next time. Neuroplasticity means your brain changes based on what you do. You can literally wire your brain for calmness through repetition. Meditation is the weightlifting of the mind. It strengthens the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for emotional control. When this area is strong, it can inhibit the amygdala, the primitive part of the brain that triggers the fight or flight response. You do not need to be a monk to benefit from this. Even a few minutes a day can reshape your mind. Micro breaks are powerful. Resetting your nervous system multiple times a day prevents stress from accumulating into a massive explosion. Think of it as releasing steam from a pressure cooker. If you do it regularly, the pot never explodes. There is also a philosophical component. We must make peace with the fact that life is inherently difficult and unfair. Expectations are the root of much heartache. If you expect life to be easy, you will be constantly frustrated and angry. If you accept that storms are part of the journey, you don't curse the sky when it rains, you just bring an umbrella. This is the art of alignment. Aligning your expectations with reality eliminates the friction that causes so much unnecessary emotional heat. When things go wrong, the calm person asks, "What now?" instead of, "Why me?" One question leads to solutions, the other to misery. Shifting your mindset from victimhood to agency is the most critical step in developing an unshakable character. Compassion is also a pathway to calm. When you understand that others are fighting their own battles, you take things less personally. Often, a person's aggression is a confession of their own pain. Seeing this allows you to remain detached from their toxicity. You can observe their anger without absorbing it. You can witness their storm without letting it rain in your house. Your mind should be a fortress. You decide who and what gets to enter. Do not leave the drawbridge down for everyone. Boundaries are essential. You have the right to walk away from situations and people that threaten your peace of mind. Saying no is a complete sentence. Protecting your time and energy is not selfish. It is necessary for self-preservation. Perspective is the final key. When you zoom out far enough, most of the things we worry about seem incredibly small. In the grand scheme of the cosmos, that embarrassing email or that rude comment is less than a speck of dust. Humor is a sign of a high-functioning mind. If you can laugh at your misfortunes, you are invincible against them. Laughter releases tension. It breaks the cycle of stress response and reminds us not to take life too seriously. Ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? If the answer is no, then do not spend 5 minutes upset about it. Time is your most valuable currency. Do not spend it on anger, resentment, or worry. Spend it on what you love. The calm person knows that every moment spent in a state of agitation is a moment of life that is lost forever. Impermanence teaches us that this too shall pass. The bad times will go, but so will the good times. Calmness comes from accepting the flow. It is the deep knowing that you are part of a much larger story. So, how do we begin today? Start by noticing the gap. Catch yourself in the moment before you react. Take one deep breath. Count to 10. Walk away. Do whatever you must to buy yourself that precious moment of clarity. Practice moving slower. Speak slower. Eat slower. Rushing signals danger to your brain. Slowing down signals safety and control. Create order in your physical space. A clean environment acts as a calm anchor for a wandering and anxious mind. Prioritize your sleep. Protect your rest like a soldier guards a post. It is the foundation of your emotional armor. Forgive quickly, not for them, but for you. Carrying a grudge is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Drop the heavy rocks you are carrying. The past is gone, and the future is not yet here. Be here now. The present moment is the only place where you have any power. It is the only place where you can be calm. Find the Zen in the mundane. Washing dishes, folding laundry, walking the dog. These are opportunities for mindfulness, not just chores. Listen more than you speak. You have two ears and one mouth for a reason. Listening is a passive state of calm. When you listen, you are not defending, you are not attacking, you are simply receiving. It is a state of rest. Be like a tree. Let your roots go deep into your values. When you know who you are, the wind cannot move you. Define what matters to you. If you value peace, you will not trade it for the cheap thrill of winning an argument. The ultimate victory is not defeating your enemy, but destroying the enmity within yourself. That is the path of the warrior. True strength is gentle. Only the weak feel the need to be aggressive to prove they are strong. Remember this always. Kindness is the twin sister of calmness. When you are kind to others, you create a softer world for yourself to live in. Be kind to yourself too. You will fail. You will lose your temper. Forgive yourself, reset, and try again immediately. Every sunrise is a chance to start over, a chance to be a little calmer, a little wiser, and a little stronger. The journey to calmness is a marathon, not a sprint. It takes a lifetime to master, but the rewards are infinite. A calm mind is like clear water. It reflects the world accurately without distortion. It allows you to see the truth. With truth comes right action. You become a force for good in the world, a lighthouse in the fog for others. Be that lighthouse. Stand firm on your rock. Let your light shine through the storm. The world needs your calm. This power is within you. It has always been there, waiting beneath the noise, waiting for you to claim it. Trust yourself. Trust in your ability to handle whatever comes. You have survived 100% of your bad days so far. As we conclude, remember that peace is not a destination you reach, but a way of traveling through the world. Thank you for watching Vision Vested. May you find the strength to remain calm amidst the storms of your own life.